So, thank you, and I'll turn it over to you.
Okay, hi guys. So really what I wanted to do here is kind of teach you guys a little bit about the deposition world. I know that the majority of students, especially when I was here, liked or wanted to do, wanted to work in the court, and be an official. But, I think it's actually pretty hard to get in there. I know you have to sub and all that stuff. Personally, I don't know a lot about that because I wasn't interested in, working in court. But a lot of you may want to start in depots or have to start in depots, start small. And if it weren't for Delanie, because, she's a really good reporter, she actually, taught me a lot of stuff, I wouldn't know what to do if I was out there on my own. So I know that many new reporters, since they have to take depots or they decided to do some depots on the side to, get some money until, some more work comes in. And they don't really know how to do, just the small stuff. It's really simple, but it's just, maybe we weren't taught or maybe we didn't retain what we were taught, and, but we just want to teach you the simple stuff, like how to mark an exhibit. I know that there's some newbie reporters out there that don't know how to mark an exhibit. We want to make sure you know how to read a notice whenever you get a notice. Pretty much they give it to you the day before your job, and you have to read it, and you have to know where to go, who the witness is going to be, who the attorneys are, et cetera, et cetera. So we just want to teach you a little bit about, how to go into a deposition. And it'll be simple because a lot of, the newbie reporters like myself are going to have to do car accidents and stuff like that. So, it's really simple, it's really easy, but I just want to make sure that you guys are prepped and, know how to do that and go out in the real world, and, you won't, you'll learn as you go, because it is one of those, careers where you learn on the job. But I like to be prepared as much as I can before I go out there and do what I have to do,
So basically, what we would love for you guys to do when we go into the room is to take your machines. If you want to hook up real time, that's up to you guys, but we want you to write the depo and then take the transcript and turn it into Judy to grade in case we're not reachable for some reason. But
Hang on, we'll actually grade it the same way we always do as a group. We won't have it, I don't have an electronic copy.
I can give you an electronic copy.
Okay, then we'll grade it just like we always do. We'll grade it, like 2 weeks from today, or actually, I guess it'll be 2 weeks from tomorrow because we normally grade on Thursday, but we'll grade it just like we always do, and we'll have the electronic copy and hard copies to give you at that time. Although this is going to be a lot longer than we normally do, but we'll grade it like we always do.
It only looks that way because we attach the include files.
Oh, okay.
That's what we really, I know as a reporter for me, the most overwhelming part of it was the include files. And each firm is different. Ellie and I work for 2 different firms, and she does a different format than I do. So the copy I've given Judy is the way that my firm asks for the format to be, but it's pretty standard in that, only a couple little things are tweaked. But we've brought business cards. Ellie and I are going to be your lawyers, and, ask for the business cards. Like, we want this to be a deposition setting. So go up to the attorney, and we are on the notices, so if you can figure out who belongs to who by reading your notice, but still ask for business cards, because I can't tell you 90% of the time I show up to a job and, Mr. Smith is on the notice, but Mr. Johnson came in to take the depo. So I don't have Johnson's information, I only have Smith's information. You can find it. I've learned to Google people, and I'm fantastic at finding people on Google, but it's added time you don't need when you're trying to put out a transcript, especially if it's... So we have notices we're going to give out to you guys in advance. We also have exhibits, and we understand that, because we are going to enter exhibits into the depo, and we understand that there's a lot of you in the room, and so it's not like you guys can individually mark exhibits, but we're going to give those to you along with exhibit stickers in advance. And when you guys are getting ready to turn in the transcript, just put your exhibit labels on it, figure out which ones 1 and 2. Couldn't be, hopefully, too hard. And then, I guess the big question is, how many of you guys know how to fill out a exhibit? Anybody? Do you know what goes on it? Pretty much, yes. The only thing is in depots, we don't really put the name for the defendant, we put the name of the witness. The last name of the witness, not the full name. And then the date that the depo was taken, along with your initials. So you can get exhibit labels with your name printed on it, if you guys decide to be freelancers and stuff, saves a lot of time. But what we're going to look for on your exhibit labels is the numbers or letters. We went with numbers. The witness's last name, the date the depo was taken, which would be today. It's also on your notice, which I just oh, I handed them in. And all that information will be on the notice.
You want their initials on it?
Their initials.
Pretty much every time when you're putting an exhibit label on, in a depot, you want 4 things, pretty much the date, last name of the witness, the exhibit number or letter, and your initials. Okay, so those 4 things, always. Pretty simple.
Another thing that I was really glad someone told me, do not cover up any writing when you're placing an exhibit label on your sheet of paper, because you can cover up a base label or you can cover up an initial, and that can be so important, and the attorneys will hate you. They will hate you. So when you're doing that, they're not nice to listen. But try and put it, like for instance right here, I've marked mine that Judy has up here. You can mark it over here, try to stick it to the side, but anywhere that doesn't have writing would be, they don't really care where the exhibit label is. You can put it sometimes on the back if it's going to cover up something important. But that's something that I think is really good to know, because you don't want to get out there and then find out you've made a mistake and you've made somebody angry.
Do you not normally put it, if you have room, do you not normally put it at the bottom?
I do. So on this one,
The bottom right is where you normally would put it if you've got enough room.
if you've got enough room. So on this one, you can do bottom right. It's perfect. I only did this one because as I was marking my copy today for you, I realized there's no room down here, so I put it up top. I try to stay to the right side of the page, top, bottom, but wherever there's not writing and there's just a big giant blank spot, that's probably the best position to put it in. Notices, we'll hand out the notices, and if you guys want to look over it and you have any questions as to
Now, I will say this, this is what we've been doing. When we've been doing freelance depots, they've been given a notice.
yeah.
I've been giving them a notice, so they should kind of be familiar with this.
Yeah, that's around.
And I was, I remember that from school, and I was only semi-familiar. It's overwhelming.
Yeah.
If you guys have any questions before we go in there, we're happy to ask them, whether it's about this or just to fill awkward silences.
So, pretty much, we'll have, I guess, like, just the one big group coming in, but if we have someone who is brave enough to be our main court reporter, because we want to make this, as real life as we can get it, we need the real court reporter to swear in the witness. That's another question we have. Does anyone know how to swear in a witness?
We go through this every single time that we do a transcript, every single time. And I've given them the swearing stuff, and so they should know how. I'm going to say that. I'm just going to say they
Do
should
we
know.
have anybody who's a volunteer who's willing to be up in front and center with us and swear the witness in and mark 2 exhibits in front of us? Anybody who's willing to do that?
Pamela.
Awesome, right on.
Thank you.
Who's going to do it? Okay, good. All right. I'll fix and grab somebody.
Oh man, I take it.
Okay, thank you for that. Thank you. I appreciate it.
So this will be pretty much like a real deposition. We'll walk into the rooms, obviously we'll let you guys go ahead, walk in, set up first, make sure you have your real time on and all that stuff. If you have something to record it with, like your phone or, a little recorder or something, you're more than welcome to use it. We'll walk in pretty much, and we may or may not introduce ourselves because sometimes attorneys do that. They just walk in and sometimes they don't even say who they are.
The bonus points if you remember to ask for business
So if
cards.
you remember to ask for business cards, how normally, a normal reporter would, so you can get their information, make sure you have the correct, attorney there, et cetera, all that good stuff. We'll give you our business cards and, we'll let you set up and all that good stuff. And we'll go ahead and, get on the record.
Are we in the conference room?
Uh-huh.
Okay, you get to set up at the head of the table because you're going to be our court reporter.
Yes. In the
Yes.
deposition, you always get to set up at the head of the table. So you'll always want the witness either to your left, to your right, and then the asking attorney to your left, to your right, So And, you know, it's not like, you know, sometimes I guess you can direct them, hey, I want you to sit here and I want you to sit there, but it usually doesn't work that way. They will sometimes come in and ask you, where do you want your witness to sit? And I usually just say, either to my left or to my right, you know, so I can hear them clearly and, you know, I can see them, you know. So they're not always going to be on your right and they're not always going to be on your left. I know that that was something that we, some students, I guess, because we're taught, you know, your first voice is always maybe to your right and the second voice is always to your left. But in the real world, it's not going to be that way, so that might confuse you a little bit. So just keep that in mind, that they're not always going to sit where you want them to sit. But as long as they're to your left or to your right, you know.
Well, and you're not always going to sit at the head of the table. If you get a videotape job, they put the witness at the head of the table. And that threw me off at first, because I trained with me always at the head of the table, even videotaped. And for some reason, having the questioning attorney right next to me watching my real time was like, oh my God, like my heart's racing, I'm like, I have to do really well. And then having the witness in front of them, when his or her counsel starts like cross-examining, you have to watch them because you're not realizing, you're not really hearing them clearly. You're hearing this guy objecting, or you're hearing the witness turn its body and talk to the attorney this way. And you don't realize how much that changes your hearing and how much you miss because of that. So try to also keep in mind that you're not going to get the same spot every time. Try to switch spots when you come here. It helps. Like don't sit in the same seat every time because it does throw you off at first when you get out there.
Yeah. You know,
So
so small tips, because you know we learned as we went, and that's just the small stuff that we picked up. But,
yeah, I think would be super helpful, and maybe not make as many people intimidated, because I had a good trainer. My mom trained me, but I still was intimidated, super intimidated.
So it's really easy, it's really simple, and you know, the court reporter doesn't have a lot of speaking parts. You know, we just swear in the witness, and you know, we sit there, we do our jobs, and they ask us to mark exhibits. It's really simple. I think that a lot of us are just intimidated because we don't know. So I think that's why, you know, I just wanted to come here and help you guys out. So when you get out in the real world on your own, you know, you won't be as intimidated.
And Ellie and I have given you our real email addresses. They're not fake. On the notices and on the business card. So if you guys do decide freelancing is what you want to do, or you have questions about the transcript, you can email us. We're more than happy to give advice or anything. We love the profession. We love really getting out there and boosting that freelancing. I know it's got kind of a bad rap a little bit, but I think it's worth it.
Yeah, I do too. I prefer it. I don't think I've done a few hearings here and there. I do not like it. But that's just my personal opinion. A lot of you may want to do court work. That's fine, but you know.
That's awesome too.
That's awesome too. We are not
Well,
against
in
it at all.
reality, because your court jobs are limited,
Yes.
almost everybody is going to start out as a freelance starting out. I mean, you know, everybody just can't go from getting your license into a court. Now, yes, it's good for you to start subbing, but most court reporters are going to start out as freelance. They will eventually maybe work their way into court if they want to, but almost everybody starts as a freelance. So this is a really good, you know, this is probably going to be your starting point right here as a freelance.
Yeah.
So,
And to be honest, actually, you know, this is one of the best careers to be in. And you know, sometimes, let's say if you're going off to, like, if you had gone to university and you know, graduated, you got your degree and all that stuff, how long does it really take for you to get a job? My friend is in criminal justice, and she's been out of school for, I don't know, like 2-3 years, and she still hasn't really gotten a job in her field. When I, you know, got my license, I was out there within a week. So, I mean, it was immediate. Actually, I got a call before I even got my official license. So,
The day that my name went up on the JBCC website, I worked the next day. So I was right out there as soon as I could.
so it's really one of the best careers, you know, that you can be in. And we just want to, I guess, hopefully try to, you know, kind of boost up some morale here.
And you know, if those of you who are intimidated by freelancing, I mean, it can be. Hopefully it'll ease some of your, I don't know, fear or worry or anxiety. I don't know.
and keep in mind too that everybody's going to have to do an internship, and here's 2 people right here that will certainly give you some intern hours too.
I take lots of them. Tracy did her entire
Yeah, you've done
internship
a lot
with
of
me.
them, absolutely.